Hi, guys. It's October 2nd. It's our first coaching call of the month of October. I have a lot of things I want to say. So, first things first, the replays of our coaching calls from September are located in your September board link. I keep saying board. Does anybody not know what I mean when I say board? You can raise your hand if you don't know. It's the link that I send to you that has your meal plan, the Zoom information. At the bottom, it says coaching call replays. If you click it, it's going to take you to the replays. That they look like YouTube videos because that's where I upload them. So yesterday, I went through my computer. I got all the replays. I put them on your September link. And I also made the new link for October, which I dropped into our VIP chat, into our chat. But I will send it to you individually to each person because some of you have a 6-month membership, so you get a different link. So if you have a 6-month membership, I did this yesterday too. There's a spot in that board that says coaching call replays, and your board looks different. It says June, July, August, September, October. So when you click on, let's say, August, all of the replays of the coaching calls for August are right there at your fingertips. So you always have those replays for all of the coaching calls, always. You paid for them, they belong to you, you have access to them. So what I'm going to recommend is that um, when I send you each the board for October, which has the meal plan on it, take those links and put them somewhere so that you can easily access them because all those coaching calls are yours. If anybody has an idea of a better way for you to access them, let me know because right now that's the best way I know how to do it. Um, but I'm not good with technology, so I do what I can based on what I know. Okay, because I'm Gen X and we did not grow up with computers. So I don't know how to do that jazz. But if you're like a computer person and you want to reach out to me and say, hey, Meg, I think I can help you organize this better, I'm open to that. I would love some help with that because I'm doing the best I can. So for the month of October, um, I made a meal plan for you guys. And the meal plan includes the recipes. And I don't normally do that. The meal plans, I tell you what foods to eat and it's been more of a guide for you to follow. And I don't include the recipes. I have a cookbook that has all of the recipes on it. And as far as the cookbook, if you've ordered the cookbook and you have the cookbook, you can pick and choose any recipes from that cookbook that you want to eat. Okay. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about food and nutrition and specifically what foods burn more fat to fuel your metabolism and which foods should you be avoiding. This has been really heavy on my heart for a lot of reasons. And some of you have known me longer than others, but I hope that all of you know that I'm the, I'm a recovering people pleaser. Okay, I don't, can anybody relate? I'm a recovering people pleaser. And there was a time in my life from the past, I'll say 5 years, since 2019, where I would do a lot of things that maybe people didn't need. I just wanted to really do a good job and I would overwork, overexert myself. I would do a lot of extra stuff that didn't really need to be done. But I am the type of person that if you came to me and said, Megan, I need help with my blood sugar. I'm the type of person that I would dive into blood sugar research. I would figure things out. I would say, okay, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to avoid. And I would just go like what some people have told me that I do too much. Megan, you're doing too much. Like you do too much. Like I don't know, maybe when it comes to this, like health and wellness and nutrition, stuff like that, I've been told you do too much. So some of you might be able to relate to that in other areas of your life. Maybe it's with your kids, with your family. Like you just, when it comes to certain things, you are willing to do too much to the point where it could be people pleasing type behavior. Okay. So I'm a recovering people pleaser, but my core gut instinct is to do more. So when I was putting together the meal plan for October, I was like, I've been making meal plans all year long. Some of you since January have a meal plan for me, right? Raise your hand if you've been with me since January and you have every meal plan that I've made this year. Okay. But how many of you have actually followed the meal plan to a T since you got them? There are some people here who month 3, March, you never even followed that meal plan, right? Like, this is not shade to you guys. I'm just like, just stick with me for a second, right? Like, you have so many some of you have so many meal plans that you don't need another meal plan for the rest of your life. You literally could just go back to March or June or pick a month, any month, and pick a week, any week, and just follow that because you have the information. Just follow that, and you will be good for the rest of your life. Just follow what you've been taught over the last 9 months, right? And so yesterday, I'm putting together the meal plan and the workbook for October, and I don't know what it was, but I was like, you know what? All this information that I put on these boards, do people really need it? Like, do you really need like the workbook? The first time you get the workbook and it has like your health plan, right? It tells you to drink this much water. It tells you to walk for 30 minutes. It gives you the 15-minute workout. Like it has the health routine. Like everybody here kind of has an idea of the health routine, right? But do you need that every single month, or do you just need the meal plan for that month? Like, give me feedback because yesterday I was sitting here, I was like, I don't think that people know the 15-minute workout. Do you really need me to include that in the workbook for October? I don't think so. I don't have anyone new coming in, so to speak. And when I have a new client coming in, they get the first meal plan. So they get all of that, right? Okay. So, but I'm like, you know what? My passion is nutrition. My passion is health. I was talking to my daughter about this today. My passion is really helping women make that mindset shift from I want to lose weight to I want to be healthy and learn how to balance my weight because I'm thriving. It's not the same thing. And when I really look at all of my years experience, the past 5 years, all of the meal plans that I've made, I mean, I have every meal plan I ever made in Canva. It's all there. So yesterday I'm going through the meal plans and I'm going back to like 2022 and 2020, looking at what did I do in the fall? Like what recipes did I use in the fall, right? Because it's seasonal and I have a lot of soups and things like that, right? What did I do in the fall? And I'm thinking to myself, why do you have so many damn meal plans? Like, why are you making a new meal plan every like what Megan, what are you doing? Right? Like this is what I'm thinking to myself. And I'm like, hmm. I'm like, I'm making these meal plans. I'm not giving the recipes. Most people have the cookbook. That's great. But have I ever actually had a conversation with all of you all on how to actually use the meal plans that you already have? Because this is the difference between you learning how to eat healthy and me telling you what to eat. If you depend on me every month to tell you what to eat, that means you're not learning. And I'm not okay with that part because I want you to be independent of me. I want there to come a point when you're here because you want to be here for the community, the accountability, the education, not because you need me to teach you about how to follow a meal plan. You have that. You don't need me to tell you to go for a walk because you love going for your walk. It's part of your routine. It's like part of your lifestyle now, right? Like you don't need me to say drink 100 ounces of water and here is why because you got that part. Like the health routine, you have that down, but you want to be here for the support because we have this like we have a fantastic group of people. We really do. We have a fantastic group of people. We even if we hold each other accountable, but not so much like, hey, you didn't walk today. It's like, where's Berta Kay? She's in a hurricane. Anybody check on her? Anybody hear from her? Like Denise is driving through a hurricane to Tennessee. Like, let me check on her and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like Bonnie's in Florida, right? There's a hurricane. Like we check on people, we care about people. And I think there comes a point where this is the moment I was having yesterday. I'm making this October meal plan. I'm having a moment of like, is this me doing too much to like people please, or is this necessary because the people that are depending on me and counting on me actually need this tool in order to reach their goal? And that's a question that I can't answer because I need to ask you that, right? So here I am, I'm sitting here, I'm making this meal plan. I was like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I intentionally included the recipes for October. It was an intentional choice. And what I think I'm going to do going into 2025 is that seasonally having a meal plan. So there'll be a winter meal plan with recipes. There'll be a spring meal plan with recipes, a summer meal plan with recipes, and a fall meal plan with recipes. And you won't get a new one every single month. You'll just like rearrange the recipes so that I can teach you how to use a meal plan, how to follow a meal plan, how to adjust a meal plan so that you are independent of me. And you come here because you want to learn about insulin resistance and you want to learn about hormones and you want to learn about, your emotional eating and how you need help working through emotional eating and habits that you've had since you were a kid. That's the part I really want to focus on, that part, because that's the part that makes my heart happy. When you guys have light bulb moments and you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that I'm eating everything on my plate, plus I'm eating my kids' food, plus I'm eating my husband's food because I can't throw food away because I was taught as a kid that if it goes on your plate, you eat it. Those are the types of things I really want to focus on. So the month of October, I included in the meal plan, I tell you breakfast, lunch, dinner. I give you the recipe for each one. I even included like snack ideas, what I consider healthy snacks, that because the topic of tonight's call is what foods burn more fat to fuel your metabolism and what foods to avoid. That's really what I want to dive into because if I don't teach you how to use a meal plan, you will 100% be dependent on me every month. Like, Megan, it's Wednesday. Where's the meal plan for this month? Instead of saying, you know what, I don't have the meal plan. Hey, Megan, heads up, you didn't send out the meal plan this month, but I'm going to use one from before because I got this. Like, I know what to eat, right? I want you to know what to eat for your metabolism. I want you to learn it and know it and be confident in that, so that if ever, and there will be times when you choose to eat something different, it's a choice, not because you don't know what to eat or because you're in an emotional state or whatever. It's because you're choosing to have a burger and fries because you know how to eat healthy for your body majority of the time. Okay? And so with that all being said, what foods should you eat and what foods should you avoid if the goal is to burn fat to fuel your metabolism? So I talk to you guys a lot about your metabolic health. I talk to you a lot about your metabolism. And that conversation, unless you like science, is boring. Who here is like it's boring? And you're like, insulin resistance, what the hell? Like, I don't care, right? Like, you care but you don't, right? Like, unless you're like a science nerd like me, because I love that kind of, to me it's like math. I'm like, oh my God, the pieces of the puzzle fit together. Oh, okay. People, like, I just love that conversation. But if you don't, then a lot of what I say is like, I don't care. Just tell me what I need to do to get the body that I want. Just tell me what I need to focus on so I can hit my goal. Just tell me what I need to do, Megan. I don't need to know about insulin. Oh, okay. When I was, I used to be a keto coach. I specialized in a clean ketogenic diet, and I did that from 2019 until 2023. And so I would have anywhere from 500 clients a month on this call, to the point that I had to pay extra for Zoom to fit everybody on this call. Okay. So right now we have one, two, three, and three. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 people on this call right now. There was a time when I would have 500 people on this call and we would meet twice a week. Okay. And there were so many people that I couldn't have a chat because there's a cap on how many people you can add to a chat. There was over 500 people every single month. So when I tell you guys, I have coached thousands of people, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. And I'm going to tell you this. When I was teaching people clean keto, my goal was to get people's bodies into nutritional ketosis so that you were naturally burning fat. That was my goal and my intention because people came to me because they wanted to lose weight. So my focus was what foods are going to help people burn the most fat and really like their do this to their metabolism, like wake up their metabolism. Okay. And so I spent years in the kitchen cooking the foods that are in that cookbook. Those are not recipes I found on the internet. That's not something that someone taught me or whatever. I learned what foods are best for your metabolic health based on it was my responsibility to teach hundreds of people every single month how to get their bodies burning fat. Now, that may be like, you're like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Okay, well, listen, hear me out. Okay. On average of 500 people a month, on average, every month, my clients lost 20 pounds their first month. Okay. I talk about Kate all the time because she's one of like the most like extreme cases. And I'll start with this. Kate was almost 500 pounds when she came to me. Okay. So her results are not like average. They're not, it's a unique case, but I'm going to use it anyway. Okay. So Kate came to me for help and she was doing keto on her own and she was doing all the keto trends, all the keto snacks, all the keto this, the low carb this, low carb that, and all the keto groups, learning all the recipes and she was posting about, eating this food and she found this snack food and this snack food and there's a point to why I'm telling you the story, okay? So I was her daughter's dance teacher. I did not know Kate at all. I was her daughter's dance teacher. So I posted on Facebook a picture of my dance kids. I call them my kids. My kids in their dance recital costumes on my Facebook. I had permission to do it, right? And they were all like this, right? They were like in their little costumes with their sequins and stuff. It was so cute. And I posted on Facebook, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, is that Dennis Mass's daughter?" I'm like, "I don't know who that is. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about, right?" That's how Kate found me on social media. And at the time, I was going live. I was doing keto kitchens. I was teaching people how to eat keto. I was teaching people how to use food to burn fat. I was giving people tips on electrolytes. And I was going live every single day. So she started following me to stay with me. Okay. So she was already doing keto. And I think she was already down 50 pounds when she came to me. And she was still almost 500 pounds. Okay. At the same time, her husband decided to have gastric bypass surgery. Kate decided to try my program instead. Kate lost 125 pounds in 10 months following my meal plans. Her husband followed my meal plans and had gastric bypass surgery. He was my client too. And he lost 200 pounds in 10 months. Okay. Now, put her husband aside for a second. The reason why I was able to help people burn fat fast is because I was teaching people how to eat clean, whole food nutrition that ignites your metabolism so that your body burns its own fat naturally. That's what I was teaching people. Now, were we taking supplements? Yes, we were. We were, but I'm not giving supplements credit for what we were actually doing because Kate actually changed how she was eating. However, on Facebook, she was posting all her dirty keto, lazy keto, keto, Cheeto, you know, processed, really unhealthy foods. And I'm over here talking about eating clean. I'm roasting vegetables, like it's just different. No judgment, just different. Can you lose weight doing dirty keto, eating processed foods? Yes, you can. But then Kate posted something on her Facebook about her foot. Her foot was swollen. and she had been to several different doctors, and she was this close to having surgery on her foot, okay, on her ankle. And she posted about how she's seen so many doctors and they're talking about surgery. She's not really sure why it even hurts. She didn't injure it. She's not even sure why it hurts or anything like that. It was just swollen. This is how me and Kate connected. I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, Kate, can you tell me what you ate yesterday?" She's like, "Why?" I said, "Because I think I can help you with your foot." She went down her list of like all her keto snacks and all her keto treats and all her keto fat bombs, all the fat bombs, all the stuff that she was eating. I said, "I think your body's reacting to eating a highly inflammatory diet." She's like, "What does that mean?" I said, "The foods that you're eating are causing your body to have inflammation, and it's the foods are creating an unhealthy environment within your body. But if you want, I can teach you how to still eat keto, but with an anti-inflammatory diet so that we can get that inflammation down, that swelling down in your body. Are you willing to try it?" And she said, "Yes." I was like, "Bet." That's how Kate became my client. I gave her a meal plan. I said, "Eat this." I gave her a meal plan for a week. By day 4, her foot was better. She went back to the doctor. The doctor was like, what did you do? Like, we were about to do surgery." She's like, "I changed what I was eating." She never needed surgery. She never her foot hasn't didn't that was it for the foot and the inflammation. It was what she was eating that was causing her body to react. And in her body, it presented itself in her feet. Because at the time, she was a manager at McDonald's. She was on her feet all day long. So inflammation in her body showed up in her feet. But it was what she was eating. And it was because her foot actually got better in less than a week, she stuck with following the meal plans for 10 months because she was afraid that if she didn't, her feet were going to swell up again. It was no longer for her about losing the weight. And remind you, she was almost 500 pounds. For her, it was about that really helped my foot. Then her son had eczema really bad. His skin would just break open, right? And I said, "Kate, start making extra food for Dominic. Start making extra food for Dominic." And she's like, "I don't think he'll eat that." He's just like, I was like, "Just let him taste your food. And if he likes it, make more for him." So then her son started following my meal plan. Her whole family eventually followed my meal plan. But then she had her son follow my meal plan and his eczema went away. Why? Because I taught her how to eat foods that heal the body, anti inflammatory. Okay. Regardless if it's keto or not, anti inflammatory foods, because food is medicine. Now, I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again. Y'all come to me to help you lose weight. Like, listen, I know, I understand. Like, that's like the thing, right? Then you're like, "Oh, maybe Megan can help me. Maybe this program can help me. Maybe these supplements can help me." Like, because you're having a challenge around that one thing. So when I say to everybody, "Okay, we're going to eat clean. We're not going to eat processed foods," right? In so many people's minds, the first thought is, "Well, why does it matter?" And I'm telling you that it matters because many women and some of you don't have a weight problem, you have a health problem. And your weight is a symptom of the health problem. And how do you address the health problem? By eating nutritious food that heals your body from the inside out. That is the focus. And as much as I want to say, like, let me pause. So last night, like, all this is in my brain as I'm like making this October meal plan. I'm copy and pasting recipes from the cookbook, and I'm like, "And we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that," and I'm like, "Does this image match?" And I'm like, I'm just maybe it took me 3 hours last night to just sit and like really like put it together. And I thought to myself, you know what? In October, I'm really stressing the value in following the meal plan. There is years. And it doesn't matter if it's the meal plan I put together for the month of October. or if it's a different recipe from the cookbook, my point is that the results will be the same, period. Because Kate was my guinea pig for the recipes. Kate was my guinea pig. Every recipe you all have, Kate used to lose 125 pounds. Every single one, because she was with me from the beginning. Because I started making meal plans because of her and her foot that were clean keto. Does this make sense? And when she posted, oh my God, my foot is better, Megan Hunter, she tagged me. Megan Hunter told me to eat this meal plan and I followed it. And now the doctors are talking about I'm fine, I'm better, I don't need surgery. Well, because of that one post, her friends reached out to her and said, well, what did Megan Hunter tell you to do? And what did Megan Hunter have you eat? Because in her first month, she lost 25 pounds. This is how like it happened, right? So now Kate is referring people to me. So what started as me and Kate and me just wanting to help her because I knew that what she was eating was making her sick. She may have been losing weight, but it was making her sick. And people come to me and they're like, I want to lose weight. And some people are willing to do anything to lose weight, even if it's unhealthy and makes them sick, not realizing that you could potentially be destroying your metabolism for the long run. That this is a serious conversation. It's not serious maybe to y'all because you don't care. Some of you don't care about this stuff, but to me, it's like the thing. It's the thing. I need to teach you how to eat right. I need to teach you how to eat right. And I know that throughout this year, I have been very like grace giving. I hold space and I hold a tremendous amount of space for women who are having a difficult time emotionally because I understand that struggle. And I have a lot of grace and space for too much too soon, and you take your time and over time add more and let me walk you through it, and it's different for everybody. So if you're the person who started off with walking and water but you had a challenge with the food, okay, then there's someone over here who was excellent with the food part but didn't want to exercise and like I don't have time to walk, right? Mind you, me over here, I'm managing all of you and where you are and holding space to just keep with it, just add more on, just add more on, just add more on. But I'm going to tell you something. From back then when I was a clean keto coach, I had zero tolerance for grace. None. Zero. You're coming to me because you need help, and I 100% know how to help you. So if you're here, this is what you're going to do. That was my mindset. I was like, Grace, who? Who's she? Who's she? Like, do you want to get healthy or not? Do you want to lose weight or not? Okay, just eat this. But I was also very good at explaining why back then. And so today I want to explain why. I don't know if you guys even have realized this or not. How many of you were keto before or at one time ever? I don't know if you realize this at all, but my cookbook is a clean keto cookbook. If you were to actually follow the meal plan as directed and as given to you, you all should be in nutritional ketosis right now, and your body should be burning its own body fat, period. Because that's what it's designed to do, right? Now, again, I'll tell you, I hold a lot of grace of like, do what you can. Okay, do what you can. But for the month of October, I intentionally put those recipes there because I want to teach you how to use a meal plan. That's why. And if you didn't buy the cookbook, then you're not going to have the recipe. So that's not helpful, right? Or you bought the cookbook, but now you got to go find the recipes. That's not helpful. So I'm giving it to you. Here's the recipes, and this is how you use a meal plan. All right. Now I'm gonna hit some nerves, but I'm hitting nerves because I love you and I'm telling you the truth, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because someone asked on Metabolic Monday about discipline. I forget who it was, honestly. I don't even remember the person's name, but they asked about discipline. I lack discipline. I don't know how to get more discipline, something like that. And I started to coach a little bit around it at the end of my Zoom, but I didn't really dive into it. When you guys got the first meal plan that you ever got, did any of you think to yourself, why are we eating the same food all week? That's intentional. That's 100% part of the plan. Let me tell you why. Because most people that come to me are so used to eating their feelings. You will only eat what you feel like eating. And the person who was like, I don't feel like Chinese tonight. We had that last week. Let's get Italian, right? I don't feel like that tonight. Well, I don't. Well, hun, babe, what do you want for dinner? What do you feel like having for dinner? Isn't that the conversation that goes on in households, right? And if you're at the point where you're asking your partner or your kids or whoever, hey, what do you feel like having for dinner tonight? You're already hungry. You're like food's on your mind already. You're already hungry. And now, in that moment, what people do is you start to tap into your emotions of what do I feel like tasting right now? When a person is in the moment of already being hungry and then deciding what it is that they're going to eat, it's an emotional decision, it's not a logical decision. When I create a meal plan and I'm forcing you to eat the same thing every single day, I am removing the emotion from your food so that you can use your logic brain and know that everything you put in your mouth is going to help you reach your goal so that you don't have to think about it, right? That's literally what it is. It's intentional to break your habit and your behavior pattern of emotional eating. That's what it's intended for. And here's the thing, the woman asked about discipline. Here's how you create discipline. You stop eating based on what you feel and start eating based on what you need. On what you need. The goal is to have a healthy metabolism. Even if you don't care about that stuff, metabolism, whatever, but well, you need to know. You need to know because you don't have a food problem, you don't have a willpower problem, you don't even necessarily have a discipline problem. You have a lack of education of what you're doing to your body when you choose to eat from emotions instead of giving your body what it needs. And the problem is that some people, most people, don't know the difference. You don't know what your body needs. You don't know that the reason why you have chronic pain is because you keep eating the food that is causing you to stay in a state of chronic pain and inflammation. You don't know the reason why you always get headaches is because you're not eating the right foods that have the right electrolytes that are balancing so that you don't get headaches. Some of you have, let's go down the list. I mean, list here, inflammation. Inflammation. You go out to a restaurant and you decide to eat the healthy option on the menu, but you don't understand that the oil that they cook that food in causes inflammation. How many people know somebody or you yourself have to eat gluten free? You know somebody who's like gluten free, they have celiac, right? Their gut microbiome is completely destroyed. Their intestines are completely destroyed because of years of eating processed food. That now they have chronic inflammation in their intestines, right? But instead of learning how to eat an anti-inflammatory diet, what do? They go to the store and they find all the gluten-free, fake processed foods, and then they continue to have flare-ups. They are still sick because they're eating foods. They're choosing to eat. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, where's the gluten-free section? This sounds good. This sounds good. Sounds good equals emotional eating. I'm going to eat what I feel like eating instead of eating what I need to eat for my body to be healthy. That's just one example. I have a friend who was part of my old coaching group, and she had fibromyalgia. She had flare ups so bad. Her neuropathy was so bad. She was seeing the what's it, acupuncture person. She was going to the chiropractor. She was seeing specialists, all this stuff. I said, you need to change what you eat. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. It took her 5 months of eating clean before her flare ups stopped completely. But she used food as medicine because food will either heal you or hurt you. You're like, yeah, but it tastes good. Okay, well, I'm going there, so I hope this doesn't offend anybody. But if it does, it's really how I feel. Like when you're like, yeah, but it tastes good. My thought is like, yeah, but drug addicts say the same thing. Like, yeah, but that feels good. Like, but I like getting high. But like you're killing yourself. You know what I mean? But here's the thing about food. The thing about food is that we have to eat every day. We can't avoid it. We're presented with food every single day. But not knowing how to choose the right foods for your body can keep you sick a long time. Some of you are really trying to lose weight, but really you need to be focusing on balancing your body. Let's talk about blood sugar. People who have high blood sugar, you're a pre-diabetic, you're a type 2 diabetic, your blood sugars are unstable. Some people have been on insulin for years when you could have just changed what you ate and not had to go through any of that. But if you talk to a type 2 diabetic, they'll say, yeah, but I like sweet foods. Yeah, but I like pasta. Yeah, but I like bread. And I'm like, yeah, but you have eaten so much sugar over the past 10 years that your body literally is allergic to it now. And every time you eat it, you're poisoning your body. You're poisoning yourself because you're eating what you feel like eating instead of learning what your body needs to be balanced. And people who have high blood sugar go to the doctor, and the doctor tells them, try losing some weight. Because this pisses me off, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it. Doctors don't understand that when you have high blood sugar, your weight is a symptom of having high blood sugar. The problem is not your weight. The problem is that you have high blood sugar and you haven't reversed it. And when you reverse your high blood sugar by changing what you eat, your weight will balance because people with high blood sugar who are overweight because your blood sugar is so high, your body can't burn fat because it's full of stored sugar. It's the food, right? It's 100% the food. I talked about autoimmune diseases, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, like Parkinson's disease. I'm not saying that you can cure things with food. What I'm saying is that you absolutely can control your symptoms with food so that you need less medicine, so that you're not living with pain all the time, so that your flare-ups are less often and not as bad, right? Like that's what I'm trying to explain. And so when I was zero tolerance, zero, zero. I was so strict about the meal plan because I knew for a fact that if you followed it, you would get the results you were looking for faster and it was 100% healthy. There has never been a person who has taken my recipes to their doctor and their doctor said, don't eat that. That's not good for you. Never. Never, ever. And I tell people all the time, take the meal plan to your doctor, let them see what you're eating. And when doctors look at it, they say, yeah, do this. Yes, this is good, right? And I had zero tolerance for it because I know that people come to me to lose weight, but I know that the real problem is that there's something off within your body that's causing you to gain weight and store the weight. So I'm focused on your health. I'm focused on what's going on in your body that we can address with food so that your weight comes off naturally, right? Like that's where my focus has always been. But it always goes back to the food. So last night I'm making this meal plan. I'm like, you know what? I need to teach people. I want to really like have like teach people why this is important. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, and I don't even know who I'm talking to right now, but I know this is true and I know this is real. Maybe there are probably some exceptions to this rule for everybody I'm looking at, but I don't know who, right? maybe you make your lunch and it's from the meal plan, right? But your dinner is something that your husband cooked or like, something you eat with the family, right? But you're like happy because at least you got one meal in today that is like healthy, right? Like it's from the meal plan. Or maybe you eat the breakfast. Like that keto hash is bomb. If you've never had it, like shame on you. It's really, really good. It's one of the best recipes. It sounds gross, but it's not. I'm just telling you, okay? But like maybe one week you're like, oh, I'm gonna make the keto hash, but then you order out for lunch and then you try to eat healthy for dinner. Like you're making an attempt and you're making an effort here and here, it's like dabbling, right, with it, right? Like you're on your at your own pace. And I have supported you 100%. It was like, do what you can. It's better than not. Like some people have to do baby steps, right? Don't tell me. Don't tell me unless you want to, but don't tell me. But how many of you that's what you've been doing, right? Like you'll do meal plan recipes sometime, but like it's not really part of like let's say this. How many of you walk every day, non-negotiable? You built a habit like it's part of your routine. You walk every day, okay? How many of you have the same commitment to following the meal plan? I know Miss Nita, I know for a fact Miss Nita does. Okay, Miss Linda does too, right? Okay. I'm telling you as a friend right now, from day one, everyone here has had the one thing. You've had the one thing that would get you to your goal faster than today. You literally had the one thing. But I never explained it in this way. Okay. The meal plan specifically is one breakfast, one lunch, one dinner for 1 week. It's always been that way. Why? Because I am teaching you discipline. This is what you eat. And I'm going to tell you by day 2, you're not going to feel like eating it. You're not. You're not. I hated it when I first started meal prepping. I was like, this sucks. I don't want to eat. First of all, when I first started meal prepping, I did not eat leftovers. I don't even eat Thanksgiving leftovers in my life. Like, I'm not eating that. That was in the fridge from yesterday. I'd rather have a bowl of cereal. I'm not eating that. That was me. So I get that part. I do. However, the meal plan is created that way specifically for you to break the habit of eating what you feel like eating and putting food in the hands of you. Because when food is in the hands of you, you will do what you've always done, literally, right? And then you'll tell yourself, well, it's fine because I'm going to eat the salad for lunch. That's better than nothing. That's better than nothing. But then the meal that you're off plan is the meal that's causing the inflammation, right? Like the meal that's off plan is the one that's spiking your blood sugar, right? And so there's not enough time in your body to create balance because you constantly keep putting things in your body that cause imbalance. But if you stuck to the meal plan, you would learn this. By week 3 of following the plan as it's written, by week 3, you literally wouldn't have cravings anymore. Your taste buds would completely change and you wouldn't even want those snacks anymore. You wouldn't. By week 3, you would be completely over the fact that you're eating leftovers. And you know what you would do? You would get real good at seasoning your food so that it tastes really good. So that on day 5, you're excited to eat it still. Like those French onion meatballs, I don't care. I could eat them every day. I could eat them every day because I like the way they taste. Do you guys know that you can take that French onion meatball recipe and instead of making a French onion, you can do like a taco or Italian? See, if we were actively working on learning how to eat, that's when the creativity around the food comes and we're working towards food freedom. Because in the beginning we don't have discipline. In the beginning, we try to find ways to sneak into things that we want. And this is not about being restrictive. This is about what is your health issue that you are feeding and fueling that is detrimental to your metabolic health and your metabolism because you can't have both. If you have inflammation in your body, it's going to be hard for you to lose weight. If your blood sugar is high, it's going to be hard for you to lose weight. If your blood pressure is skyrocketing, it's going to be hard for you to lose weight. If you're constantly having flare-ups with chronic pain, you're going to have a hard time losing weight. And I'm not even saying this to like make anybody feel better or anything. I'm trying to help you see that there is value in following the meal plan and like just like what would happen if you did? What would happen if you did? Because I've never had anybody follow the meal plan and not come back and say, "Oh my God, I feel great, Megan. I'm sleeping better. Oh my God, Meg, my energy's better. I'm not craving like I'm not snacking anymore. I can't eat as much food as I used to." These are the things thousands of people have told me this. So over the past 9 months, I'm making a meal plan every single month, right? I'm making a meal plan every single month. And last night I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, like I'm not doing a good job teaching you how to use it. I'm not doing a good job teaching you how to use it and why. Because here's the thing about following the meal plan there comes a point when you literally don't need the meal plan anymore. And when you start thinking about what it is you want to eat, you start thinking in terms of what vegetable do I want tonight? What type of protein am I going to cook today? Right? You're thinking in terms of, hmm, do I have enough coconut oil to make my peanut butter cups? Because I'm probably going to want something sweet, and I want to make sure that it's something that is going to work with my body, not against my body. And so you prepare some peanut butter cups because right, Halloween's coming, and you want to have something on hand because candy might trigger you, and you might want to eat the grandkids or the kids' stuff. So you make sure you have yours prepared, right? There comes a point when you start thinking in terms of, hmm, what do I feel like eating that's going to honor thy temple and not take me back? I don't know when that point comes, but I'm telling you, there's a point where you get to where you literally don't need a meal plan. You don't need a recipe. You just know. And you're like, no, this is when I eat this, I feel good. And when I eat that, I don't. Now, that does not mean that there's no more eating out. There's no more birthdays. There's no more, wedding. That's not what I mean. I always tell you guys this. That's living life. You're supposed to go to a wedding and eat the food. I'm not the coach who's going to tell you to go to a wedding and eat before so that you eat less there because you're not. You're still going to eat the stuff, right? I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not the coach that's going to tell you to go to your grandkid's birthday party and not eat the cake. No, I'm not going to. I'll never tell you that. I'm not the coach that's going to tell you that when Christmas is coming up to not eat the Christmas cookies. That's why we learn how to fuel our body with food every day so that when the holiday comes, we can enjoy our traditions and we can enjoy real food. How many of you, when you were keto, you went through Christmas making keto cookies? I did that one time. And my oldest daughter, Hannah, said, Mom, please don't ever ruin Christmas again. Like literally, don't ever. I was like, what? What's wrong? I'm thinking I'm doing good. I'm making healthy cookies. Like, I got the almond flour, and I got this like dupe for chocolate chip, and I'm making peanut butter cookies. I even had a dupe for like the Russian tea. Is that what they're called? Like the ones that are round and you put them in the white powder sugar. I don't know. They have nuts in them. And my Hannah, who she always goes with the flow, literally to my face said, please don't ever ruin Christmas again with these cookies. And that was my lesson of not everything has to be made keto, not everything needs to be healthy, not everything needs to like be on plan. But when you're on plan and you create the discipline, you get to choose when you go off plan because you want to, and it's a choice, not because you are a victim to your feelings and you lack self control. It's not the same thing. How do you get to that place? You get to that place by learning what your body needs to be healthy, because when you're healthy, your weight will balance naturally. Now, I'm going to say this. Here's a caveat. There comes a point in your journey when your body changes dramatically, but then it's time to start incorporating exercise to firm and tone the way your body looks. You guys know what I'm talking about? Back then, I never had people exercise at first, never. It was always just go for a walk, because I didn't want people trying to focus on exercise and food at the same time. Food is hard. Food is hard. Don't let me sit up here and act like food's easy, just follow a plan. It's not easy to follow the plan. I know that. I know that. It's not easy to follow the plan. But can you prove to yourself that you can do it for 1 month? It's not like you're eating nasty food. I'm not telling you to eat styrofoam and, like, what are those things called? Those corn, not corn cake, rice cakes. I'm not telling you to eat rice cakes with peanut butter. If you like that, great, but I don't. I'm not eating that. I'm not like, if it doesn't taste good, I'm not eating it. Right. But learning about menopause and insulin, we are all naturally insulin resistant, which means without trying anything or doing anything different, we will naturally start to gain weight. It will be harder to lose it 100%. Insulin resistance is a medical condition that requires education and knowledge of what's going on in your body so that you know how to address it with food and exercise. You need to know what types of foods you eat. And I'm telling you that my meal plans and my cookbook is an anti-inflammatory diet that specifically lowers and balances blood sugar. It reduces inflammation, chronic pain, and flare-ups. It is a whole health way of eating, period, the end. And I have too many testimonies, too many results, too many doctors that are like, wow, this is really great. Too many. But those people who got those results followed the plan until they didn't have to, because they had it under their wing. But if you're dabbling and dabbling and dabbling, how do you ever expect to create the discipline around your food if you're always going back? If you're always going back. Now, this doesn't apply for everybody, but food addiction is a real thing. It's a real thing. Some of us are recovering from that, some of us are not. Emotional eating and using food as a coping skill is a real thing. Stress eating, eating out of boredom is a real thing. I forget who it was. I think it was Terry, but it was someone else that said I'm bored. Berta K this morning after we worked out. She's like, sometimes I was just bored and I would just eat, because if anybody else eat when you're bored, you just eat, like, or maybe not now, but you used to, like, you're bored. I'm bored. Let me just grab something that, have a snack, like it's something to do type of thing. And when I first heard Terry say that, I eat out of boredom, I had to really sit with that and think of it for a second, because Kate told me that she's one of those people who eats out of, I just eat because I'm bored and it's there. And I was like, that is so odd to me. And then Berta K said it again. Terry said it, and Berta K said it again. I really had to, like, think about this for a second. And I don't know how this is going to sound, but this is like a real thought as a health coach. Do you guys know that people who eat because they're bored? Do you guys know that people who have a healthy metabolism only think about food when they're actually hungry? Like, did you know that? Like, people who have a healthy metabolism only think about food when they're actually hungry. It wouldn't cross someone with a healthy, it wouldn't even cross their mind to just put food in their mouth just because. Like, and here, okay, listen. I don't know, did that come off as like insensitive? Because I don't want it to be insensitive. This is like a real thought. Like, this is true. Like, this is a real, I don't want to be insensitive, because I do understand being on the other side. But this is true, and this is a real thought. People who have healthy metabolisms don't think about food unless they're hungry. like, period. There's no time ever where someone who is like their systems are working properly, are they thinking to themselves, what's something else I could eat today? That's unusual for other people, right? It's just unusual. So, bored eating, I have to really dive deeper into that because my first thought is that that is a coping mechanism. That's an emotional, mental thing, and it's not. I don't know. I have to dive deeper into that. But here's what I'll say, and we'll sum it up here. If you were eating and following the meal plan, you would be full and you wouldn't want to eat because you were bored. And when you were bored, you wouldn't think of food because you're full. Like, do any of you think of like when it's Thanksgiving, you just ate and you ate the pie and you ate the cookie. Like you ate, it's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. You ate all this stuff. You have to unbutton your pants afterwards. You're like, oh my God, you drank the beers. You had a glass of wine. Like it's the end of the night. And you're like, oh my God, that was the best Thanksgiving. That was so good. And there's still food out, like, or it's being put away. And you're thinking to yourself, is there anything else I want before they put that away? Like, is there anything? And you're like having that conversation. We all do it, right? You have the conversation in your head. But you think of this moment. The moment where you think you want something more and you might even put it on a plate and you sit down and you're like, I literally can't put one more bite in my mouth. I cannot put one more bite in my mouth. When you get to that point in Thanksgiving where you literally can't eat another thing, that feeling of like you just don't want food? If you were following the meal plan, that's how you would feel often. You wouldn't want a snack. A snack who? Who has I'm full. There's no why and why? Let me explain to you why. I didn't even talk about this part of it. Did you guys know that my meal plans and my recipes are specifically designed to balance hormones? To balance your ghrelin and leptin hormone, your hunger hormones, which is why when people actually follow the meal plan, they get full really quick. They can't finish their food and they stop snacking because they're not hungry. They literally will say, Megan, I can't even eat my dinner. I'm full. So they stop overeating, they stop snacking. When you stop snacking, what happens? Your insulin stops going like this all day. What happens when you follow the meal plan? Most, not all, but most of my clients who had type 2 diabetes prior to regulated their glucose, their A1C, their blood sugars within 6 weeks of following my meal plan. I'm not saying this to boast about my meal plan. I'm trying to explain to you how important food is for your metabolism and how the foods that you're choosing to eat off plan are the foods that you want to avoid if you want, because you have to create an environment within your body of healing, and that takes time. So sticking to a plan for 3 weeks is enough time to have some healing, but every time you throw something else in there, you're just making it take longer. And you might be okay with that. You might be like, I don't care how long it takes, man. I'm gonna eat whatever I want. And I love that for you. That's great. But there are people here who are like, what can I do? I'm telling you what to do. Focus on your nutrition. Create that discipline with your nutrition, just like you created discipline with your walk, just like you created discipline with your 15-minute workout. You created discipline with your water. And listen to me, I know the hardest part of our health and our weight is our food. I know it is 100%. I know it is. But I can also tell you with my full chest that the meal plan that everybody has is specifically designed to help your body burn fat, heal your metabolism, balance your hormones, reduce your inflammation, and balance your blood sugar levels. Period. The end. And if you really want those things for yourself, I want you to trust the fact that if you focus on your health, your weight will balance naturally, because your weight is a side effect of what's happening inside of you. And the only way, along with your doctor, medication, whatever, all that jazz, but the only other way to create that balance within you is based on what you put into your mouth and what you're not eating enough of. And seen. Okay. Hi, Horace. I went on a little thing, but you guys, let me. Okay, so pause. Thank you for coming to tonight's call. It is October 2nd. It's Wednesday, and if you have to go, it's your bedtime. Have a great night. Thank you for coming. Okay, after our coffee talk style, let's talk about it. So let me tell you, really, the truth is that I am putting together a workshop, and it's a class. And this is my belief. You guys give me, I would love your feedback. I was talking to Berta Kay about it today. She's like, you should ask us. And I'm not going to go like down a rabbit hole, but I am for at least 5 minutes. So give me 5 minutes and then we'll do Q&A, okay? I have it on my heart where I want to teach people hold on, I have notes because I don't want to mess it.
Do you want to be recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be recording for this part. Because maybe someone will watch a replay and give me feedback too, you know? Okay, so this is what it is. I had a thought to myself, and I'm in this space of like listening to my heart space and like trying to figure things out. And this is what it looks like. So I have clients who come to me, and what I find is that there's a lot of work around emotional and mental, almost like brainwashing and belief systems, meant like blocks that people have around. Like I'll just give an example: obsessing about the scale, right? Some people get on the scale every single day. If the scale doesn't move every single day, they feel like they're failing. It's not working. They're ready to give up, like the whole thing. And that is a block here. That's something that was taught to someone. The same thing is true for finishing all the food that's on your plate. That's a taught behavior that we learned really, really young. And so, okay, so if you're taught to eat everything on your plate, stop putting so much food on your plate. Like that's a simple answer. But I know that there's psychology behind that process, and people aren't just going to wake up tomorrow and just like be okay with throwing their food away or making less food. I know that. However, I feel like it would be super beneficial for me and my clients to have a workshop that's based on education, not on losing weight, where I can actually teach people what types of foods are important to add to their diet and what foods to avoid from their diet, where I can teach women, specifically women. I want to work with women, where I teach women what exercises will actually increase your metabolism and get you the body that you really want, so that you're not wasting your time doing a bunch of exercise or beating yourself up because you're not exercising because you think you need to do a lot of exercise in order for anything to happen. I want to teach women how to stop stress eating and emotional eating so that you can be in control of your hunger. And that to me, I want to remove the taking the action out of it. I don't want people trying to lose weight while you're learning this stuff. I want you to learn this stuff before. I want you to learn the myths. I want you to understand diet culture and how a lot of the things that you were taught was marketing for you to buy something. I want you to learn what your body needs to be healthy and balanced so that when you decide to join a program, or you decide to hire a trainer, or you decide to buy a supplement, you know what you need before you get started. And you're not, because I want to remove all of those limiting beliefs before you start working on losing weight. So I'm putting together a workshop that's 100% education. There's no how much weight did you lose? There's no did you track your inches? There's no did you take pictures? It's just a class where women can learn about the things that are holding them back and keeping them stuck. It's making me sick. I saw a post today on Facebook, one of my friends. I'm saying it, it's recorded, it's fine, I don't care. I saw a post of one of my friends, guys, okay? And she just joined a new network marketing company. She's selling a new supplement, okay? Which, okay, great. Like, and she loves it. She's happy. I'm happy for her. That's fantastic. That's not what this is about, okay? She's been using the product for about 5 or 6 days, maybe seven at the most, right? Today, she posts on her Facebook how last week she did a 5 day challenge with this new product and she no longer has belly bloat. Her tummy is flat and all this jazz, right? Her picture is like this flat belly, like snatched, like, oh my God, right? Any person looking at that would think to themselves, oh my God, look at her stomach. That'll probably work for me too. I know this woman in person in real life. She's skinnier than me. She's 5'2". She weighs 100 pounds. Okay. The way her body looks does not look that way because of her products. And there are women on the internet looking at that thinking, well, if it works for her, it will work for me because I never met her. They don't know her waist is this big. Like on video, it doesn't, you can't tell how thin she is because her breasts are so big. Like she had implants, and that's no shade, like she did. Like she's voluptuous, right? But her waist is, she's smaller than me when I was 104 pounds. So I know she must weigh like 98 to 100 pounds. She is thin. She's very thin. Okay. What bothers the hell out of me is that women who are actually struggling with their weight will see that post and think to themselves, oh my God, she looks great. I want to look like her. Maybe if I try that too, that'll work. That'll work for me too. I don't have proof of this, but my belief is that she don't even eat food. I'm just saying, I'm not like, listen, I was telling Hannah this tonight. I was pissed. Like when I was telling her, I was pissed. I was like, this is exactly why so many people come to me and they have this like belief that they have to be thin, they have to be skinny, the scale matters, and that they have to look like that in order, and they're willing to do anything to do it. They want a quick fix. They don't understand anything about their bodies. All they know is that they want to look like that. And if that's what she's doing, then that's what I should try too. But when you have metabolic disease, when you have chronic inflammation, you live with chronic pain, you have insulin resistance, your hormones are all over the place, right? When you have actual, you're type 2 diabetic, you have actual health issues going on inside your body. To tell somebody that in 5 days, this could be you too, I want to punch her. That's how I feel. Because then those people come to me and I'm like, no, you need to eat healthy and you need to exercise, you need self-care, you need to walk, balance your stress. And I'm telling people the real things you really need to get your body the way you really want it to be. And then you have all these people on the internet like, you don't have to do that. Just take this. You don't have to do that. Just try this. How many of you have tried everything? How many of you have ordered products from so many other companies, so many people, so many things? You've done Beachbody, you've done Herbalife, you've done Jenny Craig, you did Weight Watchers, you've done, I don't know, this, what's it called? The celery juice diet, you've done paleo, you've done keto, you done, okay. I want to teach people this is what you really need to focus on. Okay. Like you really just need to learn how to eat food that's meant to heal your body. You need to do something for your stress. You need to drink water. You need to sleep. You need to sleep. Like just the basic, the fundamentals don't change, y'all. I don't care what product you take, the fundamentals don't change. But it really makes me it makes me angry. And I said to Hannah, I said, you know what? These people, these fools are out here telling people's lies, misleading people, like trying to manipulate people to buy their thing or join their thing or whatever. And I'm over here and I'm not going live and I'm not talking about it. I said, I need to be louder than them. I need to be louder than them. But I also know that people don't want to do the work. I didn't want to exercise for 15 minutes a day. I did. So people don't want to do the work, but the truth is the truth. And I'm so thankful for all of you here. because you really do have the tools to get your health back. Now, the amount of time it takes you to like for it to become a routine and a non-negotiable and your lifestyle, that's on you. That's on you. But I care enough to say to you all, you have the plan. So when I say it that way, I don't mind taking 3 hours or 5 hours to make a meal plan every single month because I know that what I'm giving you works. I know that what I'm giving you is healthy for you. I know that what I'm giving you may not be the easy way, but it is the way. It is the way. And I know that I did a good job on my end by providing you with the tools that you need, but I can't make you do it. I can't make anybody do it. Nobody, just like no one can make me eat protein. No one can make me get up at 6:30 in the morning. Sometimes I don't. I get on Zoom and I'm just looking at them working out because I don't. So I understand and I understand the process, but it just makes me angry when I see the marketing on social media and the get, the quick fix things and the and how for how long, ladies, are we going to keep at what point do we just say, you know what, I think I need to learn about my metabolism. I need to learn about my hormones. I need to learn about what foods are really healthy for me. I need to learn, you know, what type of exercise is most important for me. I actually just need to learn how to take care of my health and just practice until it sticks and becomes a lifestyle. That's really what I believe. So I'm done talking now. Now we can open it up. Shelly, now we can open it up for Q&A. If you guys and listen, I had a conversation with Berta Kay today. She's like, Megan, people don't ask you questions because they don't know what questions to ask. Mhm. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So how do we know what questions to ask, right? But this is a time when if I were you and I had a personal health problem, I would ask me how that health problem is affecting your weight because there aren't a lot of health issues that I haven't for fun researched to just learn more about it. I don't know have all the answers, but I could probably help you maybe better understand what you could be doing for your specific health thing. And that's what this time is for you guys to get coaching from me for what you need for your health journey. Whether it's a challenge, a celebration, it's a struggle, whatever it may be, I may be able to help you. And if I can't, there might be someone else on here who's already gone through it who could unmute and also help you through something. Okay. So if you want to unmute, you're welcome to. Nancy, I don't think I said hello to you. Wendy, I saw your live. She made the shrimp. Terry, I didn't say hello to you either. I said hello to everybody else. But do you guys want me to turn off the recording so you can ask your questions? Wait, who was that? Denise, go.
I was just gonna kind of celebrate because I love like I feel like yeah we've come a long way, and so I love this, and I'm not sure what like you want to do a workshop. I wasn't sure like what the question was for us. I think that's phenomenal because I'm the same way. I get pissed off because I'm like, what? Why are these people? Why? You know, we've learned so much. It's insane to think where we were in January, not knowing this stuff and not knowing that, you know, that little squirt of butter that I just bought, it's in my fridge, that's supposed to be healthy for me, isn't really healthy. And that's jacking my whole system up along with everything else. But I do want to celebrate. I feel like I've got a lifestyle. Like I huge kudos to you because that's exactly what I do. Like I feel like the protein, the vegetables. I realized well, I got back and I cooked a whole thing of green beans because that's the first thing when I get to my daughter's house. I'm like, we go shopping, I get green beans, spinach, frozen, keep it in the freezer, and then it's like, and I made meatballs. They all love the meatballs, and then I cooked that up, and they're like, "Is that it?" They're like, "Wow, that's a lot of green beans." I'm like, because we also sautéed zucchini, and because that's a staple too. Chop it up and keep it in there because keto hash. I mean, you
So
nailed that.
So good.
And I'm like, I said to my daughter, I'm like, she was, oh mom, I left you some. You're not gonna have that. You're gonna do the green beans. I'm like, that's not even barely a serving. What is that? That's for a bird. I'm like, you need to eat that. So anyway, that's
Well, why don't you tell everybody about your health transformation so that they know that part? And thank you for reminding me I never asked a question. Okay, go. You go first.
I don't even know where to start. I know that gosh, there are so many things that have changed educationally. Like I can on my own, my lifestyle is now where like the processed foods, I don't even like it disgusts me to look at it because I don't want my mitochondria. I don't want any of that stuff. Before I was always in a lot of pain, like trying to get out of bed. It's nonstop. And it's like, no, now I can actually get out of bed. I go to the gym, I go to the morning work, I do all the workouts and I just feel amazing. And people are noticed like, okay, I just got to Nashville earlier this week and they're like, wow, Mama G really is losing some more weight. So it's like, yeah, I'm like, I won't step on this. Like, I don't know when I stepped on a scale, even though it's close to the first of the month. I haven't really stepped on a scale lately. So, but I know I do. I feel amazing and I feel like everything's going on the right track. And I'm just patient now because I understand what it is.
Berta K was celebrating you this morning. Berta K, will you tell her what you were celebrating her? And then I'll answer the question. And then the next person can go.
Okay.
We celebrated a lot of things today. What did I celebrate about Denise? I don't know. I show everybody your picture.
About how go ahead. Shut up.
I show everybody your picture and ask them, well, how much weight do you think she lost? Because everyone gives me a 50 to 100-pound range.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, the scale is not your friend because she has not lost that much weight. This is how much weight she's pound wise on the scale, it says.
Yeah.
I said, but look at her. She's doing her damn thing. Like, yes.
Oh
So
my
I show
God.
everybody your picture. Everybody.
Let me tell you what she said that was like for me to think. She was telling her girlfriend because her girlfriend's like, Megan, she just has excuses. Like she just won't do it. She's like, she didn't say your name, but I knew she was talking about you. She was like, don't be mad. But she was like, the girl that works out with us. I was like, what are you talking about?
I always get Danielle and Denise.
It's all good. It's all good.
But she was telling her friend, and she was like, you have to adjust the plan to work for you and your lifestyle. And she was talking to her about how, and at first you couldn't walk, like you could only walk to your mailbox, but you walked to your mailbox every day until you were able to walk a little bit further. And now you're walking and doing a workout every single morning. And you maybe you don't do 3 sets or whatever it is, but you're working out with us, like you're doing it. But a year ago, we weren't doing this a year ago. You know what I mean? So like, that's a big celebration to just see how far we all have, how far we've come from where we started. It's huge celebration. The question I was going to ask Denise. Oh, sorry. Go.
And the modification workouts work because Wendy and Denise do modification workouts. So when you say, I can't do this because there's modification workouts. Jeanette just had surgery. She's putting in her, what she can do. So you can do oh, I can't work out because this happened. No, what can you do?
Just move
Modified.
your body. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, and modify because here's the thing. If you can't, anybody can join a program for 21 days and follow the plan for 21 days, but then on day 22, you're like, okay, made it. I'm done. Thank God that's over. And then you can go back to whatever. So making small changes you can stick with is how you create a sustainable lifestyle. Because if you can't do it, if you can't stick with it, you're not going to keep doing it. And the thing about the truth that no one wants to hear is that whatever you do to hit the goal, you have to keep doing after you hit the goal. Nobody wants to hear it, but it makes me angry, but it's the truth. The question that I was going to ask you guys is this: would it have been beneficial to you all if you had learned up front about nutrition, exercise, your metabolism, about weight loss versus fat loss, about how to create a daily routine, um, about like your mindset shift around weight loss, building muscle versus weight loss, and that when you're building muscle, that the scale will move differently, tracking your like all the like mindset stuff, would it have been beneficial for you to go through a little workshop of learning before jumping into cooking and meal prepping and following a meal plan and going for a walk and exercising, like where you're just learning, you're not taking action, you're just learning first, so you kind of wrap your brain around it, and then you're given a plan to implement, and I coach you through it? Or do you feel like learning as you go is more beneficial than learning on the front end? I like your feedback on this. Kelly, your hand is raised first, and then we'll do Wendy. Hey,
I
Kel.
think I think from a standpoint of somebody new to your program, spending the first 30 days, like give them the meal plan and teach them why it's important and why, for instance, drinking your water is important. And then month 2, adding the 15-minute workout. But if like in the group, either you or somebody else could post them doing the chair version of all the exercises you're going to be working on. So that way they can say, they see that and they're like, okay, I could start here and not feel so overwhelmed. Because I mean, if like when I first started working with you,
Mhm.
if you had, you had been teaching us a little bit about it before you started the 21-day challenge we used to do.
Mhm.
If my life was overwhelming in that moment and you threw all that into my lap, I would have been like, I can't. So
Mhm.
like little steps for the first couple of months might be better for somebody whose system really needs that whole reset.
Yes, that's good feedback because you've been with me a long time. Um, so Kelly was there with me back when, and Kelly will tell you, if you post it in my chat, a processed food, you got one warning, one, and I would immediately reach out to you and say, hey, no, like
She did.
I believe in eating clean whole foods, and you cannot share anything with ingredients in my chat. And if you did it again, because I had a couple of people, I literally kicked you out. I was like, you no longer have access to me because it's going against my core values of what I believe is a healthy lifestyle. Anywho, that's when, and Kelly knows I'll come in there quick. Like, who posted that? People would send me
She does.
screenshots and be like, Meg, so and so posted this in the chat. Is that okay? I'm like, nope, get them. Let's go. Like, nope. Okay, Wendy, your hand is raised, and then Miss Linda, and then Terry.
Okay, I'm just going to piggyback off what Kelly said. I think for the first 30 days at least, and maybe for the first 2 months, even depending on the person, just following the meal plan and focusing on that is a challenge.
Yes.
I mean, so if you start going into the other stuff that you want to talk about and throw that at them, I would think it would overwhelm a person.
Yeah.
Personally, I love the way we've done it because then it becomes more important to you because you understand the importance of eating the whole foods, and you've learned not to do the processed foods or cut back on the processed foods, whatever it is that you do. And then you understand, oh, okay, so really processed foods should be out because the insulin resistance, the metabolic syndrome, and that, and and maybe this is just me, but as far as like the modified, I just did it on my own because I couldn't do it any other way. I couldn't stand up or lay down and do the weights because it pulled on my back. So, but I wanted to do them. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to sit in a chair. I looked it up too. You did the wall push-ups and those things, but as far as the weights goes, I just did those on my own because I wanted to do something. And actually today was the first day that I did not sit down and do the weights. I stood, and that's in my recording on my story. I stood and did the weights.
Girl, let's go.
So, and I was going to up my weights this month, and I thought, no, we'll try this first and see how it goes. And I'll just keep it at that for the first month at least, so that's my take on it, at least, that's how I feel. And the fact that Megan, you explain everything so well, and you are so open to asking questions. I would even think the most conservative person would not feel bad asking you something if they truly needed to know something. Even though you feel like you're red, and I know you can be red. I know you were red. You're red still, but you're a yellow red.
I'm
You're the
yellow.
most yellow red person I've ever met.
I am yellow red. I am.
And it works for you.
Mhm.
It doesn't work for everybody, but it works for you.
Thank you for that feedback, because me and Berta K were talking today, and I was like, Berta K, like, I don't even know what I'm doing right. Let me tell you, Wendy, this is why. Because it's hurting my heart. It's killing my soul watching like some of the questions that get asked, like in the Metabolic Monday group and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like people really think like people are hurting their bodies for the sake of being skinny. And that is really making me sad. And I'm like, what, what can I do? Because like, okay, maybe joining like the 21 day challenge or like Mega Health is too overwhelming for some people. And it's like too much altogether at the same time. And I thought, okay, how can I ease people into like, let me get people prepared. Okay, this is what your health journey really looks like. This is what nutrition really looks like. This is really like really helping with the mental blocks and the brainwashing and the like you don't have to fast for I don't know how long. Like I think Terry, I think when Terry first started, she was eating one meal a day or something. And I was like, Terry, how are you going to keep your muscle strong if you're not eating enough food to support your like Wendy, I know the average person too. A lot of the average person doesn't care. Like they're like so like whatever, right?
Right.
So, but at the same time, I do, and I want to offer something where it can help people ease into the transition instead of just jumping into it. And I appreciate your feedback.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
The average person doesn't do this.
What?
Doesn't join your program. The average person doesn't, they might do the 21 day, but then they won't do it after that because they really don't want to make the sacrifices. And it is a sacrifice.
It is. Big time.
Because for me, for 40 years, I've eaten processed foods.
Mhm.
More, 50 years, I've eaten processed foods. So to break that habit and for it to even get out of my system is going to take, maybe I don't even have a lifespan for it, but the average person won't stick with it. So it's got to mean something to them.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. What's it mean to you?
What's it mean to me?
Mm-hmm.
It means, number one, taking care of the inflammation, because I'm learning that part, the foods I'm eating. But it also means that personally, if I can cut that stuff out and be able to live longer and move and play with my grandkids, there's no amount of money that can take that away.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of you. Did you share the video of you working out standing up
I put it on my stories, and I also put it in for Workout Wednesday
in the comments?
in the group.
Okay, okay, I'm gonna find it because I want to see it. Look at you, what? Because Wendy does, she sits down and I look at us getting better and better. Miss Linda, you have your hand. You have then Terry, then Denise.
You know, I want to jump in because I'm new, really, compared to everybody else that's here.
I don't think so.
No, I I've only been here 3 months, and everybody's been since January. But what I'm saying is that when I came in 3 months ago, I was starving for what you had to offer, and I didn't even know what you had to offer other than what Terry said. I have a friend that likes to clean eat. I go, that's fine. I can do that, so, but I didn't have any idea what you were about. I had never met you before. Super brand new to you. And gosh, I was like, I never missed you on anything. You were live, I was there. You were posting, I was there. You were, I mean, and this is going to work and do. I don't know, and I guess I'm a more of a, like Wendy said, thank you. I'm not normal. I like to move fast, I think it's because of a journey that I've had with weight loss, 20 years worth of all the craziness, and then having gastric bypass, which stopped a lot of the craziness, right? I mean, when you do something that drastic, and at that moment in time, it wasn't drastic enough for me to even think it was drastic. I do today feel that way. And I wish I hadn't have gone that direction. But I just went on what my doctors wanted me to do. They didn't think I could control whatever I was doing, which was every diet you could possibly do. Jenny Craig, I mean, the grapefruit diet, I don't know, years and years. I started when I was in 6th grade dieting because people made fun of me. But back to, I don't know if, given the fact that I got you so fast, and so, and I made the changes that I needed to make. And I felt there was that very first month, I'm going to tell you that I felt the greatest. I really did feel great. I did. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't feeling good. And I never really talked about not feeling good, but kind of felt nauseated, kind of felt I couldn't figure out what was happening. Well, we now know what was happening. And I'm confused about that, because I was doing so good. And I'm like, what happened? Why did that happen?
Well, why did you have surgery?
I had a perforated ulcer,
Oh,
which meant that my bowels were dumping out of my colon into my stomach area. And then they just took my gallbladder out because it was sluggish. It didn't have stones, but he said it had a lot of sludge in it. So I'm like, how could any of that have happened, given the fact that I've been a clean eater, I've done what I've done. And trust me, I don't, when I saw your meal plan today, I I drooled over your meal plan today. No, I
Well,
did
Miss
not.
Linda, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think it has to do with your gastric bypass.
Yes, it's a duodenal ulcer. So it had something to do with when they did the bypass, right?
Right. See, I just guessed that, and I know because exactly. So it had nothing to do with what you were doing. That's just one of the it's a long-term side effect that could potentially happen from the gastric bypass. So you weren't doing anything wrong, and it wasn't that anything wasn't working. That was just your body, because of the surgery that you had.
But clearly, jumping in with you 3 months ago has been one of the biggest life changes for me in a very good way.
That makes me so happy, Miss Linda. Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
Wow, that's
I love it when you come on and you talk to me. I do. You like catch me up like we're having coffee talk, you know? All right, Terry's gonna go next and then Denise. Thank you, Miss Linda.
yeah, no, you're welcome. Thank you.
What day is it? Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Okay.
It's funny when Linda says, I just like brought you in just for meal plans. Linda was reaching out and asking for help in ways that I didn't know how to help her. So, I mean, she wanted a lot more than just a meal plan. So when it comes to like kind of your workshop, I think you have two different people. You're going to have the people who just want to be, just tell me what to do. Just give me the piece of paper, and I've got several people that, they're in the plans with us. They've got all the stuff, but I never hear from them. They never comment. They're not in the groups because, if you can see, or like in the chats, the last time somebody was in somewhere. So I don't know whether they're doing it or not, but that's all that they wanted. They just wanted to have that recipe and that meal plan. I don't think you can do anything more for those people. But then you have me, and I think getting that first month, getting the recipes and being like, just focus on this. But I need to know why.
Right.
And so because I need to know why, I can do that for a little while. I can just do what I'm being told for a little while, but I can't sustain it. I can't keep it because I get bored with it. Or as soon as I start questioning in my head, well, I don't know why she wants me to follow this meal plan. I should be able to eat any vegetable or eat it, like do this combination or that combination, yada, yada, yada. I think what you taught today about the purpose of that meal plan, man, that hit me right between the eyes because I did not get that. I just thought it was suggested. Here's some ideas. Here's some ideas. If you can't think of anything to make for dinner, just pull something off this plan. Had no idea that it was specific. Thought that the idea of you just keeping like we ate this breakfast or that breakfast all month long, I thought that was just out of the sake of ease of meal prep.
Let me tell you something.
Didn't get the behind.
Let me tell you something. Terry. You'll love this because that was good. I wrote this down. Focusing on nutrition, needing to know why, and the meaning behind it. Got it. I'm like that too. Let me tell you something. The workbook that we give to all of our clients when they order products from us, the amount of intention that's behind that meal plan, like specifically. So, the first week is like eggs for breakfast. I can't remember, but it's like eggs for breakfast, like a taco bowl for lunch, and then salmon and asparagus for dinner. There's a reason for that. And because I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but salmon is one of the best ways to get all your amino acids in one meal. Asparagus is a natural probiotic and will balance your gut microbiome. So if you're eating asparagus and salmon every day for a week, you're healing your gut. Like it's intentional. And then, like the breakfast and the lunch is all calculated so that you're getting your protein and your fiber in. But I pick specific meals based on the process of healing. There's so much intention behind it. I don't communicate it
Yeah.
to
So
you
I
all.
think you need to do that. I think you would, and sooner, because I think you might lose people if we have to be 4 months in before we hear this.
Yeah. And
But
You know
you
what I
did,
mean?
and you did with me. I'm sorry, but you did. You know what? Because I'm so much like you and Terry, I needed to know why. Why was I eating this way? You did when my first week in with you were on every day, and you explained everything. You did do that. You were very intentional. You told me exactly why I was eating salmon and asparagus. You told me exactly why I was following that plan that week. Because I was like, oh my God, I have to eat this all week long. Are you crazy?
I know it sucks. I know it sucks. You're okay. You're right, and you're right too. Because I used to, is Kelly still on here? She's still on here. She knows. I used to do an orientation at the beginning of each month. And in the orientation, I went through the meal plans week by week, and I explained to people why I chose the foods that I chose and how to follow the meal plan and why it was important to their success. And I told you guys, and I mean it, I had very short patience for like you if you posted your meal in my chat and it wasn't from the meal plan, absolutely not. Like, why are you eating something that's not on the meal plan? What are you doing? I had no, I was very red when it came to that. Like, absolutely not. Um, but yes, and that was my light bulb moment last night, Terry, making the October plan of like, I need to actually go back to teaching people the thing I'm most passionate about, and that is food and why you're eating what you're eating and how it's going to help you and the meaning behind it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and the effect that it has on you. You know, when you were mentioning about bored eating, you know, I guess I call it bored because I don't know what else to call it. I am not hungry. It is usually only when I'm sitting at the computer, if I'm watching TV. You know, I mean, in the course of my day when I'm busy and I'm running all over the place, that doesn't happen. It's when I sit down and I'm quiet and I'm not hungry and I'm just looking for something to pick. I was trying to think, is it specific it's probably sweet or salty that I'm looking for. I mean, if you said, well, why don't you go have a piece of chicken? No, you know, and that's not it.
Mm-hmm. I have to think about that more because I
Yeah.
don't have like coaching through that yet. I want to dive a little deeper into it. Um, because there's definitely a root cause behind it. I just don't know what it is yet to coach you through it.
Uh-huh.
But it's just it's
I think I sort of developed it when I was working full time and I worked nights and it was typing in front of a computer and I think I was tired, but I still had another 2 hours of work to go, but it was 11 o'clock at night. And I think I think that was the routine that I started in picking, but I don't have that excuse anymore, but it's still here with me.
it's you know what because partly maybe also because eating is a social thing that we do. Like it's an activity. It's a social
Yeah.
activity. So if you're home and bored, like, well, what can I do? Well, I can snack on something. I can eat something. It's like a social activity. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it for you though, because it's more common than what I realized. Because that's not something people like tell you. You know, it's not something people tell you. Because Kate was like, I just eat because it's there, and I was like, what does that mean? Like I had never heard that before. I was like, what? You just make yourself eat food when you're not hungry? That's almost like self-harm to me. It's like, why would you force yourself to eat food if you weren't hungry?
Isn't that all a part of the emotional aspect of,
Well, I would say that as far as the emotional thing, that for a lot of people, when they have an emotional reaction, whether it's a happy feeling or a sad feeling, that it can trigger your hunger hormones. So you do kind of have like, you know, you do kind of want something. I think that's different than just like, I'm bored. What can I do? I don't know. Oh, maybe I'll get something to eat. Like, you're just eating when you're not hungry. That's I have to like research that. Denise, it's past your bedtime and you are so tired. But um,
Well, I'm an hour ahead of you now,
oh,
or behind you now. So it's 8:40 for me, not 9:40. That's why I'm like, hard to get up at 5:30. So, I'm kind of on the fence, but what I can tell you is the last time that I actually was really healthy and lost a lot of weight, I worked with a naturopath physician, and she made it very clear, and it was a non-negotiable that you heal first, period. So
yes.
there was a lot of like, you're not going to lose weight. We're not even going to talk about losing weight until you heal yourself. So obviously that's a little bit different because we were talking about, different meds and stuff like that and taking blood work. But I think educationally, one of your superpowers is that you are amazing in explaining and selling me on it. Like the whole mitochondria. Oh my God. I'm like, I'm never doing that to my mitochondria, and it's like stuff like that where if you sell me on it, like I do wish I kind of knew more of what I know now in the beginning. But I don't know that I would want to not,
Work on it while you're learning it.
yeah, maybe go a little slower. But a part of me is like, yeah, you could create FOMO and not give the meal plan out. Cause like, I feel like the way my doctor made me feel, it was just like, when can I do the nutritional part? Cause she had a nutritional plan for me, but it was like, so it created the FOMO, but I don't know how that works in this type of business situation.
Well, my plan was to like not give a whole plan. So like pieces of the plan. So, like
Yeah. Yeah.
a 1 week meal plan with the recipes that go with the 1 week. Explain the meal plan, why, like what the intention behind how to use the meal plan. Um, Even explaining to people how to do inventory in your kitchen and making a shopping list, like the basic stuff. And why am I choosing butter instead of margarine? Like why is it important for you to have olive oil in the house instead of Crisco oil and vegetable oil? Like the because wait, pause. And then throughout the week, just have them make one of the meals, just one, not all week, just one time. I want you to cook, like I want you to cook the breakfast one day. I want you to cook this so that they can taste the food and see that they can cook it, number one, and that it tastes good, number two, because a lot of people don't eat the food because they think, number one, they can't cook, and number two, they think it's going to be nasty. If you're used to eating Elio's pizza every night, eating a Cobb salad does not sound good to you. It doesn't. Like it doesn't. Like if you're used to eating Pop Tarts and Eggo waffles, the last thing you want to do is make a quiche. You just don't. Like that's not how you eat. That's not, you know what I mean? But oh, I had something else too, but it left me. It left me for a second. Um,
Well, yeah, if you spatter it out, like people can pull that ingest out a lot easier because I think Go ahead.
I know what it was. Because I have a lot of people that come to me and ask me for help, but they actually don't want to do anything.
Yep.
Have zero intention of doing any of it, right? Like Terry said, there's a lot of people that come to her for recipes and meal plans, but they'll never follow it. They just want the information. But I think if those people had the information, it would inspire them to take a little bit of action. So the people who are like ready, just Megan, tell me what to do. Give me the plan. Like I'm ready. Like what are we doing? Like let's do it. It won't be perfect, but I'm willing to learn. That's a different group of people than the people who
aren't sold on it yet. Like they're just dabbling.
They don't actually want to do the work, but I think if they knew more about why the work is important, they might want to do more, at least something of the work, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, motivate them. Like, how do we motivate them? Because we've got it so ingrained from the 80s, especially if you're talking our generation. We were taught completely different. We don't believe you, like when you say this stuff.
Right. Right. And think about when you all first heard me talk about health and wellness. For you, Denise, it was on a power hour. It wasn't even about health and wellness. We were on a business thing. And I just mentioned that how I was a health coach, and these are the things I used to teach to my clients. And this is how I created content around my social media strategy around health and wellness. So you learn about me being a health coach, not from me trying to coach you in your health.
Right. Yep.
But there was something you heard me say that you thought to yourself, I wonder if Megan could be my coach. You had to hear me say something first. You didn't just you weren't just like ready to eat healthy and like exercise and shit. Like that wasn't, I said something, you learned something from me. I don't know what it was.
Well, you said stuff that we were experiencing that was dead on. It's like you're not sleeping, you're waking up at 3 a.m. You maybe you can get to sleep, but you wake up at 3. Like right there, you like sold us. There's so many things, and I don't know if it's menopause related or whatever. Like we're just sold because you nailed it, everything, all those things that, and you've done lives and you've said it a few times, but that was like the first thing. It's just like, oh, that's my girl. Because I had like one of the Prove It coaches. She was like, she wrote me a split for exercising. It was going to be like 55 minutes. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like, are you kidding me? I told you I can't move. I don't exercise. I'm going to jump in on that. I can't, I don't, and then you were just like, look, you can't willpower yourself to get healthy. And it's like, yeah, that's what these people are trying to tell me. And then they make me, and then you're like, you can't feel bad about yourself like that. Like, right. That like, it was just like this huge, like like an angel, like you were like this, it's like, yes, like finally I've been saved. It's not my fault. I mean, it's like, kind of like, okay, I can now explain how I got here and not feel like I'm a loser. Like I just felt like a loser who didn't have enough motivation or willpower to make an impact in my health. So it was, and doctors are flipping useless. They tell you lose weight. You're like, you don't think I'm not trying to do that? Do you what? And it's just like, do you exercise? It's like, how? Okay, so
right. It's a catch
So
22.
yeah, and so you just in that one little, it wasn't, it was just in a couple paragraphs of speaking that was like, that's our girl, like that. You like, okay, she gets me, like that's it, you get me.
She gets me.
Yeah.
Got it. So okay, so one thing, she gets me. So then, you actually had to hear information from me first.
Yes.
There's
You
that.
know what though, Megan?
Correct.
I felt like you got me before I even heard anything from you. I don't know. I guess it's because of how Terry introduced you to me. But then when I met you, and then we had the first whatever meeting I don't remember, but I knew I was home. I knew I was in the right place. I knew I was going to get my questions answered. I knew that you had the way that was going to give me what I have always wanted in my life, and that is to be thin and healthy. Well, now I've got a different idea about thin, but healthy I can go for.
There's nothing wrong with it. The problem that I have with people like it's an obsession with being thin is that being thin doesn't mean you're healthy.
Correct.
You
Exactly.
could die of a heart attack and be thin.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
you know, like
I've seen that happen.
you can
You
get
know, people,
thin by
yeah,
starving yourself and binging and purging. Like there's lots of ways to get thin, but that's not
that doesn't mean you're healthy.
that's
Clear.
not the angle, you know,
I
like
just knew that you were going to be there to whatever was missing in my life, and this group and everybody here. You're all amazing. Um,
you
you're
needed the
all amazing.
community too, Miss Linda. You needed the community too.
I do. I
Mhm.
mean, I am kind of like a groupie person, but I knew I found my
I love her
home. Let's
so
put
much.
it.
I want to squeeze your face. Squeeze your face. It's Linda. She said, I'm kind of a groupie. No, you're not.
I love being around people.
Funny.
I love what you do. I mean, I used to coach many years. Used to be a coach. Not not for well, I mean, not for health per se, but as in a business, I was a coach for um starting up an Amazon business. I had a $6 million Amazon store.
Get out. Get it, Miss Linda. You can give me some business coaching. I got a whole team of people you could coach in business.
I did that for years.
Um,
It was awesome. I
so
loved it. Anyway, so I know the art of coaching. Let's put it that way.
what I'm hearing you say is that I need to go live again Monday through Friday in a Facebook group. That's what I heard you say. Is that what you heard me say? Yes.
Yes, and do
Okay.
what you did with me. It
Yeah,
was
yeah. I
phenomenal
I
because
have I have a list of
yeah,
topics to talk about in the month of October in the
yeah.
Facebook group. The only thing though, you guys, listen, just hold space for me. I can't guarantee going live the same time every day in the group because some days I work at the gym part-time now. So
Yeah.
some days I work in the gym, but I actually can commit to going live and I have a great list of stuff here to talk. Can you guys tell me what you want me to coach you on? Like what you're, because that helps.
Everything, whatever you do everything. I mean,
Sometimes you can just put it on repeat because there's so
yes.
many people that you taught something to 3 months ago and they're not in there, or they're in a different place to hear it differently. That's me.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
agreed. Just listening to you tonight was a whole different spin. Even though I was connected with you, but there's still, you added more information or you tweaked it another way or you had to see us a different way. You know, it wasn't the same old boring thing, same thing.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Not that you were ever boring. It was not
Sometimes,
that.
sometimes. Miss Linda, come
No,
on.
no, no,
We're
no.
friends here. We're
No,
friends.
no, no. I
Because I
hang
say
on
the
every
same
word.
thing. I say this, I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again. And then I'm trying to find different ways to say it. And like, I have a list of topics and I went through the group today and in the guides in the group, I have all the videos, it's like 1 through 18 with the different topics that I have done. And I made a list like emotional eating, I made a new list of emotional eating, self-sabotage, and giving up too soon, skinny versus being healthy, diet culture, and marketing traps to avoid, how to set a healthy goal without giving up. Um, that's nutrition stuff. What is this? Breaking a plateau, snacking. I have a whole bunch of stuff, but I really want to talk more about stuff other people don't talk about, like how to find discipline, right? How to create discipline. Or I don't know. I just have a bunch of different ones. Good night, everybody. It's my bedtime too.
So I watched something recently that I thought was very, very interesting, and it goes ahead with like walking, and it says if you commit to walking in the month of October in the morning with the light, and it's something you always talk to us about. It's like, and the benefits of that they're saying by then it was walk every morning in October because then come November, you've built that habit, and by getting up and walking every morning, it's going to help you through the winter. So this was somebody who lives in New Hampshire, a coach in New Hampshire, who's like, I did this study, I did it one way, and my brother did it one way, and he's crying about, in January that winter can't be over. He goes, and she's like, I really didn't feel seasonal depression until like I was right, like it was well into March, where usually so like I think that's a great topic.
Absolutely. So let me write that down too.
How to
Yeah.
get through the holidays.
That's a separate thing. I'm definitely going to teach that. Walking in the morning. I really need to stress that more because that was the key. So it was like follow the meal plan no matter what and go for your walk in the morning. That was the only thing we did. And drink your water. Drink your water, take your supplements, walk in the morning, follow the meal plan. Clean food and walk. That's all we did. That and Kate didn't even walk. She wouldn't do it. Like she was like, I'm not, because you can't give people too much or else they can't do, which is why I think people do a little bit of this, a little of that, because it's too much to focus on. Just focus on your food. You guys have to go. My son is calling Hannah crying, and I don't know why.
Oh,
And
no.
it's my bedtime. And I recorded this whole thing. Hold on.